sick beats.
Dude,
Who is this?
I will send the song to you. It's amazing.
All right, in the upper right, in the red, from the Team Prime, dominating in that previous game, he is...
Creator Prime!
And in the bottom left starting location, in the blue, he needs to win this for Fnatic with his eccentric Protoss style. His ID is...
Fnatic Lady Call Oja!
Oja.
You know, that song that we had in the intro, I'll tell you guys again because it was so, the first time I heard it, I was like, wow, and then I heard it a second time and I couldn't find it, no one could find it, but it was found. It's by Rusco.
Okay.
It's M3, I think it's 357.
Oh, Rusco, yeah.
But I will send that MP3 to you, have it, it's amazing. Great
Look
song.
me up, man, I need some good music.
I listen to that song all the time. GSTL has great music with map intros.
Yeah, we pick good music here.
And you know, the BK does such a good job with the remixing. Sometimes I hear a genre of music that I would usually not listen to or not find myself listening to often. When I hear it in the map intro, the way it's remixed, I'm like, wow, what a good song. Just so I just have to say how much I like these.
Put it out there. You gotta say your feelings, Wolf.
I do. I don't want people to go, well, what does Wolf think? I mean, I don't know if he likes the map intros that much. That's what everyone at home is wondering. But now you guys know how I feel.
People on the forums going, somebody's got to get to the bottom of this, guys.
Now look at this. We see, you said Oz a little bit eccentric with his PvP, and this is true. He's doing what Naniwa did in Code S against Creator, which is to go for a faster second gas before core. It's almost unheard of in PvP until recently. Because 4Gate's basically fallen off the map in this matchup. Yeah, sometimes you'll still hit it on the ladder, but when was the last time you saw somebody really commit to a straight up normal 4Gate without a fake, at least? In professional play, it just does not happen.
Yeah, it's kind of done.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to see here if Creator's going to take a second gas. So far, no, not yet.
Yeah, he'll want to take it very soon, unless he plans on 4-gating, which would really surprise me. This map, by the way, is a map that's very difficult to use Blink Stalker play on to do expansions with. You can't really backstab into the main base very well, but you can use Blink Stalkers to attack just normally on the ground, which is something we've seen Creator do a lot. He's taking a second gas, but, you know, he's really, really late compared to Oz's second gas.
Well, clearly he's not that concerned about teching right now. Probably going to get a few more gateways coming up here, too.
He wants to play it safer.
Yeah.
What Oz has done is a huge risk.
I love watching Oz play because he just plays so differently than everybody else.
Yeah. He's creative, and he may have even stolen this build from watching Naniwa's Code S games. What happens is, whenever a build comes out in Korea, sometimes it's hidden before a specific match, but as soon as that build is out, you know, players will ask the player who did the build, hey, like, can you teach me that build, or can I just have some of your replays? I'm really interested in this, and it kind of becomes more popular. Like, for example, the build that Naniwa showed with double gas quickly after a 14 gate with 2 probes in each gas was kind of newer. Now it's really popular. Oz going for a fast Twilight Council here, not Robo.
Okay. Maybe he'll go for DTs.
He may.
I mean, considering they got that second gas really early on, I don't think Blink would.
DTs are so uncommon these days because even if you skip Robo, people figured out how to hold position units, buy time, use force
fields. Yeah.
It's such a risk to go DTs, but it's still a very viable strategy. It's just so much less popular. Wow. Nicely done. Denies that scout. And now Oz completely in the dark. If I'm not mistaken, that was his first scout. Yeah, that was his first scout, so he knows nothing.
Yeah, he has no idea what's going on the map right now. And it is going to be DTs. Okay.
Yep. This is a tough and risky build to choose when you have no idea what your opponent is doing. But that's kind of how DTs go. I mean, even if you scout that he has a Robo, it's like, oh, I guess this isn't really going to work. He's saying 2 probes out. This is, you know, it looks a little bit weird, but it's really smart because now, no matter what, he's probably going to get one of the pylons up to warp the DTs.
Yeah, exactly. He'll probably warp it in up here at the top.
This is not good for Oz, though, because not only is Creator staying at the top of this ramp, but at the top of his ramp, he has 2 sentries, and he's getting his first Observer, which Observer speed, or rather, Observer build time was recently decreased. He's going to be able to defend this no matter what. Even if he sends Observer 1, and he only makes 1 sensor across the map, the force fields will buy enough time for him to bring the Observer back.
And from there, what he's probably going to want to do is actually just, let's see if this Observer actually goes by the pylon. Do you see?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to see that pylon.
Oh, just out of range, okay.
Yep. But, you know, he's got the force fields available. However, at his natural, he's going to lose some probes most likely. And Oz has not turned the Observer around. He has no idea. Or rather, Creator.
Okay, so Oz now moving. Actually. He's actually moving way far out.
Way out of position here.
No, actually, he could get a DT into the main like this.
Yeah, there's nothing stopping him, and if he doesn't see this immediately, oh, he sees it. He knows what's up.
Does he force field? Okay, force fields.
His observer way out of position.
He needs to get those probes now. There you go. Going for these probes, and one probe down.
Now, meanwhile, Oz has made a Nexus, and he's got his own robotics. He's making a transition here. He's lost mining time, but he only committed to 1 DT. But even so, I mean, everything else that he's doing is a little bit behind. His Immortal count is going to be behind. His robotics is late. And his opponent has already mined at his Nexus, even though he had to stop for a second. That second was not enough to really make up for how much Oz has already lost.
All right, well, he does have the Twilight Council, so he can get Blink a little bit quicker. But, of course, he needs to get some Stalkers before Blink actually matters.
Yeah. And, I mean, he's still got the DT alive. He's going to use it for scouting. He's going to probably pick off this Watchtower here. I really like that. Scare that Stalker away.
Well, the problem with DTs is it's not just a matter of, like, oh, can I see them or not? It's also, can I get out of my base?
Yeah.
You know, when you're going for Robo, you don't want to have a lot of observers. You need them, but you don't want to
make them.
Yeah, because you want to make Immortals and Colossi.
Nice micro here on this DT. Takes out his
nice. Nice job by Oz.
DT has faster movement speed than the Zealots, so it can kind of poke around like that.
Like melee kiting?
Yeah, basically. Now, you see charge on the way for Oz. It's going to be his transition. It's oftentimes a desperate transition because Colossi will always be the better unit.
Right.
Now, what I really like about what Creator's done is he got a Forge, because it's going to allow him to get Forge upgrades with his Colossi, and when he decides to move out, he can make a cannon at his ramp, so no DTs can really get into his main base or scare him, even if he loses Observer somehow. That's going to give him a lot of safety. Nice, holding the Watchtower with the Observer. He may catch the DT. One more shot. Well, I guess one more shot with pair.
Two more shots.
Yeah. That DT was lucky.
All right. Well, I don't know. I don't know if Oz can win. I mean,
it's going to be tough.
Unit combination. I mean, you know, obviously, he still has a DT alive, and he's got a nice little tech tree and stuff. But yeah, I mean, Zealots lose to Colossi. They just get melted.
As long as he builds the Colossus count up before he moves out, doesn't get surrounded in the middle of the map with a bunch of Charged Zealots, because Charged Zealots are, if you don't have the critical mass of Colossi, they can just surround and kill everything. Now, Oz is making a Warp Prism right now, which I really like, because it's going to allow him to do a lot more harassment with his DTs. His Dark Shrine still lives, so he can still warp in additional DTs.
Okay. I like this. You see, with this Warp Prism play, he can actually keep Creator from actually attacking him.
Yeah. It's going to force cannons at the very least. This one DT has been so annoying, even send it with a few extra units there to hide this push. Now Oz is going to try to hit, looks like with a timing, with charge. +1 armor not done.
See if this can actually work. Now remember, if he puts 4 Zealots in there and drops them in the back, this is going to be something that's really difficult to deal with. I do like the building placement here at the entrance of Creator's base.
Yeah, he knows exactly what's up. He knows he's dealing with charged Zealots. Oz going to make a few Archons to help deflect force fields, and those Zealots, like you mentioned, that are going to be dropped in the main are going to be difficult to deal with. If he pulls too many units back, he may lose the natural. Oz is doing this the best way he can, but he's waiting for +1 armor is done, and Colossus range is about to finish.
All right, he's dropping right now, and he's going to warp in a second wave of Zealots over there. Let's see if he can get him out in time.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to defend, but in the meantime, Oz is going to go for a counterattack to the natural. There's a cannon up, and that wall that you mentioned earlier is still in effect. I don't think he can break it. He's coming down now, and well, actually, the Zealots are still alive, doing damage. Creator, knowing that the defense of the natural is much more important, the Warp Prism goes down. I think actually, the attack is bungled, and now Oz is in a lot of trouble. I don't know if I would say bungled, but I would say that it has failed. I mean, he did what he could. It's so difficult to make this attack work. He knew before he even moved out, well, this is one of my last desperate attempts to take this game after my DTs failed. Didn't do any damage at all, really. Forced like just a little bit of lost mine time, whereas he's getting Forge upgrades, Colossi. But, in the end, it did not succeed. Well, here's the real story about this entire game so far, is one guy took a risk and it failed. And now he's in trouble. The other guy took the safe, solid, textbook path. Creator can now move out. And he is going to move out. He will, and Oz is desperately trying to do everything at once, take a third base while adding a second Robo and a Robotic Support Bay to try to catch up in Colossus count. But if Creator goes anytime soon, he will just kill Oz. Oz is going to have to try to circumvent his army somehow, use that Warp Prism, use DT. The cannon is in place.
This is cute.
He will get
He's
by,
going to get in there. Okay. That's actually really good.
Yeah, and he did not warp a cannon into his main base. That's a little bit disappointing, especially after seeing the warp.
He needs to get these probes, though. Otherwise, he cannot chase a Stalker. What is he doing? No, it's too bad. He didn't get any kills over there.
No,
well, there's one.
Nah.
Nah.
The Observer's back. He can kill that DT with probes now if he wants to. This slows Creator down a little bit, though, and Oz does have a third base. I mean, everything that Oz is doing makes sense.
Whoa.
He's just so behind. I think that was a pathing mistake.
Yeah, that definitely was a pathing mistake.
He wanted to check
for the third. I'm going to lose my 3 Zealot strategy.
I mean, he wanted to check for the third, but he didn't even know it was there, so, I mean, that was kind of a weird commitment there. At this point, only 15 supply up for Creator, but he's 5 Colossi to 0.
And that's the point in time where you have so many Colossi and like nothing matters.
Yeah, it's just they're untouchable. By the way, also Oz with no Forge upgrades versus 1-1. Oh, I take it back. Oz did get that +1 finished. But he's still behind in upgrades. His +2 is behind, and his opponent has 1-1 versus just +1.
All right, Creator now is deciding, okay, this is the moment where I got to move out on the map.
He's hesitating a lot, though, and Oz does have double Colossus production. He's had his third base up for a really long time. Oz may crawl his way back into this if Creator just sits back and lets him.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, well, Creator's playing so cautiously.
Almost
I don't know if it's like the way to... You know, it's funny, because for us, we're looking at it going, well, I think if he just attacks him, he wins. That's the end of the story.
Yeah.
But instead, no, he's like being very, very cautious. He just doesn't, can't be sure, I guess. All right, nice. 90% Archon.
Yeah, 1 Zealot for 1 Archon, the best trade you could ever have. It's like ripping your friend off in Pokemon cards or something, but... Do you ever have, I don't know what school you were in when Pokemon cards were popular.
I was actually in high school. So I kind of missed that phase.
Yeah, in all the schools where I was from, it got banned because the younger kids would get ripped off. Like in elementary schools, people were ripping kids off and stuff with their trades.
I was playing Magic.
Yeah,
I'm in school in high school.
I wish I got into Magic.
Magic's really cool. It's actually a really badass game.
That's what I've heard, and I always regret not getting into it.
You can still, I mean, it's still actually.
Yeah, I should do
There's still actually a scene for it. I don't know if it's big in Korea actually, but yeah, Magic's actually great. Now when you get 5 Colossi like this, by the way, Oz is doing a little bit of catch up here, guys.
Yeah, Oz.
I mean,
it's now 7-4 in Colossus count, but Oz is catching up.
When you get this many Colossi, it's hard to make sure that they're all being used properly. They're not bumping into each other. They take up a lot of space.
Basically, Creator has allowed Oz to still have a chance in this game with being too patient. He still will likely win. It comes down to the Colossus positioning here. If Oz is better concave here, he may just win the fight. 7-4 Colossus count. Here we go. Zealots
the Zealots disappear immediately. Now note how Oz is branching out his army really nicely here. Oz actually with beautiful
he's got a great concave, and the Mortals are now closing the distance. And look at this, the next wave of Zealots is coming in for Creator, but Oz actually evened the count here a little bit. That one Colossus, nice job, Archon. Grabs that last Colossus. Now the Colossus count 7-5. Oz still catching up, +3. Very evenly spread between these two players.
Now he's got some Zealots over this army, but the Zealots are going to disappear like in 2 seconds from this attack.
Nice microbite Creator just poking very safely here, picking off those pylons, making more Archons. He's struggling to find a place to engage, and now Creator has the better concave.
Okay, nice. Just getting in there, hitting those Colossi. This is where you want to micro forward just a little bit.
He flanks from behind, though. And this could be enough. I mean, there's just too many units, though.
Oh my God, but with the Colossus snipe there. He targeted that one group. Oh, but wait a minute. We got the same thing going on over here.
Oh, but the Zealots are starting to rip through the probe count. The supply 150 to 80 now. And even though Oz had the perfect positioning, in the end his Colossus count was not enough. Creator now rallying more Colossi across the map, and Oz is out of luck here. Creator and Prime will take the lead again.
This is actually really nice with the Colossus micro there.
Both players microing really well. You know, I really, it's something that, you know, as playing PvP and as many times I play late game PvP, it's really something to appreciate when you can see really nice, not only stutter stepping because that clumps up your units, but how you can balance the stutter step with the spreading of the Colossi. Oz is out of luck at this point, though. He may not even finish +3. Well, Creator's going to be nice and let it finish.
All right, he's going to go ahead and close in here now. And, yeah, I mean, that's basically it. Look at the angle. It's so hard for him to actually attack into this.
There's no way. I mean, Creator is doing damage. Oz is not. The Archon's melting in second.
Expect GG any second now. Look at that's how you do it. You micro that, hit the Colossi in the middle. GG.
And, you know, Creator, definitely the MVP for Prime so far, I would say. His team was in dire straits. He came back. He's won several games. And now, Oz, he loses, and Fnatic only has one player left.
Yeah. Funny stuff, man. Really nicely done by Creator. He's doing a really good job so far. I'm surprised he waited that long to move out, but you know what? That was safe.
It was safe.
I thought he was actually, I was going to win when I saw all the Zealots get melted. I saw that beautiful arc that was clearly just better position-wise.
You saw also that the Zealot attacked the flank. That looked like the best thing that Oz could have done.
Yeah.
However, at that moment in time, +3 was done for Creator. It was not done for Oz. You just see how fast those Zealots really melt to those Colossi. It's insanely fast. The Zealots, they tank damage. They're great to allow your Colossi to move forward, but they're not the real damage dealers that you want.
Well, it's funny because like the only thing Zealots are good for late game PvP is like so that the Zealots are hit by the Colossi beam, not anything else. So the question is like,
they're Colossi tanks.
Yeah, exactly. How many Zealots do you need then for that to be worthwhile? I mean, you have a lot of minerals, you know, for instance, but you could make cannons or something. Something like that. Just something else. Yeah. All right, well, who's Fnatic going to pick now?
It has to be Alive.
It has to be. Otherwise, they're going to be called Fnatic Dead. All right. All right, Alive is moving out. That's a killer joke there. I write my own material.
That was like so good that Fnatic Alive's going to change his ID right now.
Yeah, man. All right, we're here at the GSTL, and we're going to have Creator versus Alive.
Alive, the last hope. I mean, if he doesn't win this, it's over.
Yeah.
The map choice is going to be Muspelheim, one of our newer maps. 9 and 6 so far for Alive, a very strong player. Now, Creator, though, has done as much. He's basically undone the work that Moon has done. He's the new challenge, the big stepping stone, but there's not a lot of time left here.
Tough situation here for Alive. Alive, one of my favorite Terrans to cast, actually. He's such a good player.
He really is. We're going to take a 5-minute break, and we will have our epic conclusion when we get back, so we'll see you at GSTL after 5.
Up and I walk today, 'cause I'll be here no more.